What's up, guys? It's Matt with Vibrant Lawns, and it has been a long time since I was able to post on this channel again. There were some medical complications with my dad, who was having a triple bypass. I actually stayed and slept at the hospital for a month and a half. He actually coded, but he made it through. They were able to revive him. It's been kind of wearing on my family a little bit. I've really missed just talking lawn and landscape, and so there's a lot of questions that some people have had. There's some insight, there's some different things that I wanted to go over. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get into the first comment. We're gonna go kind of quick with this. And again, like I said, I'm gonna say what worked for me and what I'm currently doing. If you guys have any input, I encourage it in the comments, whether it be, negative or positive or just informative. Okay, so first question is, do I use a virtual address for my business? And the simple answer for that is no, I do not. And I have reasons why I don't. When I went on to Google my business and put my business on there, it made it to where anybody that was around me and close to me, my house, my location, when they called me, I noticed over the last couple of years that when I was getting phone calls, it was from locations that were almost less than 2 minutes from my house. And so you can imagine the savings in gas and basically the route density that I had, as opposed to a few years ago where I was driving all over the place. And so, yes, there's a lot of different things you can use a virtual address for, separating the business from the home, the family from the business. When you start dealing with customers, you don't always know who you're dealing with. So there's a certain amount of protection there where people would want to use a virtual address. And I know there's some other benefits as well. You guys can put those in the comments if you guys use a virtual address. And so, okay, we're going to go on to the next one. All right, guys, so next question is how did I do this year? And the answer to that is not great. With everything that happened with my dad right in mid-season, I had to put everything on hold. Now, being a sole proprietor, and an owner operator, or even just an owner, or there are some benefits to that, which means when there's an emergency like this, that you can go and be present. And that's what I did for my dad and my family. And so I had to actually put some of my customers on hold. I didn't lose very many customers. There was a couple of that I just went ahead and let, that needed a little more attention. But at the moment, my dad was the number one concern. And so this year was not my best year. And so there's a lot of factors that went into that. So that's the answer to that question. So this next question is about the 40 customers in 2 weeks. And this is actually a comment. And Anthony, I thank you for the feedback. I'm going to go ahead and read it though and put it up there on the screen. It says, here we go, another Chuck in a truck driving down the whole industry. Let's go, Brandon. 2023, $35 to mow, $500,000 to $1 million properties. Okay, so guys, what I went ahead and you can see, I did respond back, maybe a little bit snippy, but what I've noticed on a lot of the lawn forums is that they're bashing a lot of people that aren't charging $60 for a quarter-acre lot, and I think that's just ridiculous. I know that the prices go up and down wherever you're at, but when I said starting out $35, that's fair for what I believe. That's fair for the customer, and that's fair for the person starting up, because the person starting up probably doesn't have a $15,000 mower or the right equipment that would do the professional job. They might not even have a blower, an edger, trimmer. And so as they get going, I think $35 for me, $35 on, say, a quarter acre property is good for both parties, especially if you're trying to get a client base going. So you're learning as you mow and as you maintain this lawn, and you're able to then get money together and get better equipment, get better at different techniques with edging, striping, and different things like that. So yeah, somebody that's been doing it for 40 years and charges $60 for a quarter-acre lot with a huge house on it that takes about 10 or 7 to 10 minutes, they can do that. But as this person learns and the equipment might be subpar, I don't think that they're ruining the industry. I always said this, guys, if somebody can come and take one of my clients for $20, then I'm going to say, you know what, I don't want that customer in the first place, because they're going to give you problems down the road when pricing hits, when they want mulch, when they want their hedges trimmed, a tree trimmed, cut down, anything. They're going to go for price over quality. And so if you have a quality product, if you know what you're doing, I'm not scared of getting ran off by all these $20, or I said $35, but I appreciate the feedback, Anthony, and that's my thoughts on that. And whatever you guys think, let me know in the comments also. I do think this, though, as you start to get better and you start to know your worth in this industry, you should charge a more premium price so that you can be the most profitable at the end of the day. That whenever you go out and whenever you start working from start to finish, you're making way more money and maybe even cutting less lawns than when you first started, because now you know what you're doing, what's fastest, what looks the best. That is my opinion. I don't think you should always be charging $35 for say a quarter-acre house lot. 45, 50, something like that is what I would typically charge. But what do you guys think? Okay, so guys, next question is with the 40 lawns in 2 weeks. And that was that someone said, I got banned on Facebook for doing this, or they probably got restricted for a few days on Marketplace for doing that. And I did too, actually, the last time I tried it. So it worked for me, and it worked for me when I did it, and it worked for me this this last year when I did it a little bit as well. But they caught on, and a lot of things that has changed with Facebook Marketplace. So what I'm saying is that worked for me when the time was right. But what I'm saying is to find your own avenue, something that maybe not everybody else is doing. It's not, I still think the most effective thing is to go and knock on doors and hand out handwritten estimates on a very professional card, and I still think that's the best way, face to face. So I would no longer use Facebook Marketplace. Don't risk getting banned from Marketplace. But that worked for me, but obviously it doesn't work anymore. So next question. So the next one is just a comment, and it was someone saying that they couldn't even get one customer. They were having a hard time getting just one customer. So what I said is just to keep your head up and keep grinding. Learn what kind of marketing works best for you, whether it be door to door, if you're a little more outgoing, or flyers or door hangers. You guys can always do those things. Have been around and they work. They do work. A lot of times you have to hand out a lot more door hangers than if you were to actually knock on the door and talk to somebody face to face. The probability of actually getting work and customers is so much higher. But door hangers still work, guys. So if you can't do the door to door, face to face, knock on the door marketing in that way, then what I was really trying to do there is just trying to help encourage just what is your comfort zone and stretch that a little bit. Get a little bit outside your comfort zone. but still be able to be articulate when you talk. And I'd say also get nice cards. Another thing for that last comment of not being able to even get one is, you know, obviously be persistent. Don't give up. Learn what works for you, and know what you can handle, and know what makes you a little bit uncomfortable, and then kind of step outside that box a little bit. Sometimes you need to feel uncomfortable, you know, and that will help stretch you in this industry. And so after you do get those customers, continue to have great customer service, quality, work on your quality, customer service, and then that will help those customers to also spread your name around as well and help get more customers by word of mouth. Next question is, what software do I use when I'm giving somebody an estimate? And what I have been using the past couple of years is Yardbook. It's very easy using Yardbook. It's free to use. Go to yardbook.com, and it seemed pretty easy to, I mean, add customers, add in the notes, put the price. Everything was perfect for what I needed. It does what it's supposed to do. I would say this though, it does have special features where you can outline the property and get the acreage and how big the property is. But I still suggest to always go do a drive-by and put your eyes on the actual property, because you never know if there could be, you know, a hill that's got a massive incline, or maybe a fence that won't fit the mower that you have. So I've learned that by trial and error as well, by giving an estimate over the phone and then getting to the property and being like, oh no. Yardbook is what I would use to print out that estimate and give that to them. It's very professional looking, and a lot of times you don't have to print it out. Starting out, if somebody, you know, this is lawn mowing, you still want to be professional, but really these customers want somebody, you know, that will show up when they say they're going to show up. They want that quality work, and they just want the job to be done. You don't always have to print out an estimate from Yardbook or wherever. If it's a landscaping job, or a larger landscaping job with a lot of yards of mulch, or just a lot of work put into it, I definitely would have that there. Now, I probably wouldn't itemize everything. Come up with your own prices, and people don't necessarily need to know why you're charging for what you're charging. So that's a different topic. But with mowing, I don't typically give out a printed estimate. Since I said I would like to put my eyes on the property anyway, do it in person if they're there, or over whichever platform they contacted me with either by phone, text, email, whatever it was. I would get back to them and let them know what the weekly price would be for maintenance. Let me know what you guys think. I appreciate this for this reason right here. I hope you haven't given up on YouTube. Your videos are extremely helpful and informative, and I look forward to seeing more videos from you. Take care and be safe. I appreciate you, Brian. That is encouraging, and if I did help out in any way, I appreciate it. But I hope you have an awesome 2024 season. So next question. This is the Funk Boys saying, great video. I'm just getting in the mowing business, as well as wondering what all you say when you knock on their door and give them your business card with the quote on it. Thanks a lot. It seems like a good idea. So each door, when you go up to it, if you see a person, you kind of go on their body language and, you know, what their facial expressions are saying to you. And typically it's not the nicest look that they're giving you. To be honest, yeah, door knocking is tough sometimes, because people automatically hate you walking up the driveway. But once they find out you're doing, you know, lawn and landscape, and you're just giving them a free estimate, just to kind of keep in the back of their mind, you know, put it on the fridge, whatever it is, people seem to calm down fairly quickly. So what I suggested was, you know, that, you know, I'm a talker, so I'm not really using a script, but over the years, I know what has kind of worked. And one of the most important things to do is to be clear and concise, but also be quick. And don't, because once you take a little bit too much of their time, they are just done. Now, I said I don't use a script, but if you need to write some things down as you first go out and whatever it might be, feel free to do so. But for me, I think you're going to realize it's going to come more natural once you just start talking to people and realize that you are really just offering them the opportunity to have you maintain their lawn. And here I went all out of my way to go ahead and actually give you a free quote. That really puts not much of an obligation on that person at the door. Another thing that I said was, when you knock on a door, don't do a little light knock. 2 or 3 times, 1, 2, 3, very loud, not police loud, but loud enough for them to hear it, and then back down the stairs a couple of stairs, so that you're not overbearing and right on them when they answer the door. That's what I've noticed works, and it kind of calms them down a little bit more than if you're right up in their face. Introduce yourself, let them know you're working in the neighborhood and what you're doing. So definitely let them know what that price covers, and that's going to be mowing, blowing, trimming, and edging. What I've noticed a lot of times is that people will automatically go to, I already have it taken care of, or I have somebody doing it, or I do it myself. And sometimes when they see the price, now I'm not saying lowball, make sure you're making good money on this. But first starting out, you might want to start just on a little lower end of that spectrum. But once they see the price sometimes, and if it's a corner house and it's $40, these days with how expensive things are, $40 isn't that much. And I've noticed a lot of people say that to me. Wow, I had a guy come out and he was charging me $70, and I couldn't afford that. So, but $40 I can do. Definitely make sure they know what that quote covers, whether you are offering mowing, trimming, and blowing, mowing, trimming, edging the sidewalks and driveways, and blowing. Make sure they know, because I've had a lot of people that might have thought it was just the mowing price or mowing and blowing. A lot of people don't actually trim each week or edge if they're doing it themselves. I know a lot of guys out there that do. Another thing is, if they just, they're like, I'm not interested, I always say, go ahead and keep the card. This card is just for you, your house. That's the price, and that's going to be the price. And I always tell them, what, mowers break down, and especially here in the spring, when mowers break down, you're going to have to wait like 3 weeks, a month almost, probably even more, because those shops get stacked with mowers that aren't running for the season. So hold on to my card. If you happen to go on vacation, I'll do a 1 or 2 time mow for you. It just depends if you guys aren't into 1 or 2 time mows. But that's what I do to kind of get around that objection of, oh, I'm not interested. Great. Okay. Well, it was nice to meet you. Go ahead and hold on to this in case you do go on vacation for more than a week. I can cut it once for you if you'd like, for that price. Again, also, if your mower goes out or something happens, just keep my number and then move on to the next one. So Max in Paola had a question. He said he was starting fresh, brand new. Where should he start? How should he start? And so another subscriber or person that saw his question said, find out if you have an area that has sufficient population close by within 20 minutes. That's a good answer. That really is. What I said was, since I don't know your entire situation on whether you have equipment and what equipment you do have, I would start there. If you can only start with a lawnmower and no weed eater or trimmer, then do whatever you can with what you have, and you can always build off of what you make. So Max, what I say is, since I don't know what equipment you have, what equipment you don't have, if you just have a lawnmower and you don't have a trimmer, if you have a lawnmower and a blower, then that's where you start. And I've seen it happen multiple times with kids, with people that get sick of the corporate world. They go out and maybe they can just get a mower and a blower, and they start making money that way. And then they start adding to their equipment. And so I would start that direction. Is with, you don't have to have everything that you see on all these large companies' trailers before you can start making a profit. As long as you're dedicated and persistent, if you just have a mower, you could go out there and get a lot of work, because people are looking for quality work, for people to actually show up, do what they say they're going to do. And so if you can do those things, and then while you're doing all that, continue to learn how to maybe, if you can stripe, how to stripe straighter, how to stripe better. Once you get a trimmer, how to trim and edge the best way for you personally, how it is easier for you to edge. Figure that out and continue to learn and get better at what you do. And I'd say that's how you start out, because we just kind of went over, door knocking and how you kind of can get customers. But if you continue to learn and get better at what you do, you're going to get a lot more referrals from the customers you do get. So good luck to you in Paola. 2024, if you're still going to go for this, I hope you have a great year. Okay, so the Pro Cut said route density is key, but just like you said, when you're starting out, you take them all. And that for me was a truth. Is I took them all, and when I say all, I don't mean all, because the thing is, you still have to make money. You don't want to go be push mowing something that's going to take you 45 minutes to an hour long and make $20. It's a way to start off, but in today's day and age, that's not necessarily going to get you anywhere fast. And sometimes you'll find, not just sometimes, a lot of times you will find there are a lot of nickel and dimers out there trying to just try and get the cheapest person out there. Don't be that guy. Know your worth, and but at the same time, you might not be able to charge that premium price, of a company that comes up and they have, $12,000 to $15,000 standard mowers, $400, $500 weed eaters, and backpack blowers, in and out in 5-7 minutes. That's really convenient for customers. And so if you can't do that, the thing is that you can get there, but you can't necessarily charge a premium price like that when your equipment, it might be subpar. You might not have a weed eater. It just depends on where you're starting out. So just get in there and get some pricing down to where you're going to make a good profit and feel good about it. One thing I will say is, don't ever commit to a yard and then realize that you hate doing it because of how much you're getting paid for it. Because what that will do is it almost will ruin your day, because you'll be thinking about that lawn and you having to go mow it, and wishing that you had added $5 or $10 on to that price. I would say, if that's the case, I would say after the first mow, I'd say, you know what, I'm going to have to add five. It was a little, more than I thought it would be. That way you don't have to just dread going to that lawn every day. So that's my suggestions. There could be like an acre lot. And so that's where doing some research also helps too. Yes, when you're starting out, take anything. But if it's 45 minutes away and your equipment isn't the best, your truck, your trailer, or your van that you're putting the mower in the back of, you need to do what's best for you, for your vehicles. Because if it's a 40-minute drive there, this 40-minute drive back, you just lost a lot of time. You could have been cutting somebody else's grass. And so be mindful of that, and also what in your area, acres, if it's an acre, that's, a little bit for a smaller mower. But if it's a half-acre lot, it's going to be more than obviously a quarter or third acre lot in a neighborhood. So just be mindful of the prices and don't screw yourself and make yourself regret doing those lawns. Okay, so Joseph Porter says, your transparency and honesty is super helpful. I have some questions on how you handle the technical side of your business and taxes. Do you have an LLC or are you a sole proprietorship? I'm new to lawn care this season and have a handful of clients, but I'm not an official company yet and have not started a brand. So first off, I am a sole proprietor, and I know that people are going to be, oh no, why don't you have an LLC? With an LLC, it is a very smart thing to have, depending on volume, size, and how much money you're bringing in. With the risk out there with a limited liability company, an LLC is really one of the things it's there for is that if you destroy something or something happens, if somebody sues you, it separates your business from you and your house. So if somebody sues you and they could, and they win, they could take all your trucks, your warehouse, whatever's in that business name as an LLC, but they won't be able to touch your house and your personal things that are in your name. And that's what I am to believe. Now, there's other factors with LLC that you would probably want to ask a tax professional, but for me, it's worked well with putting it on as a sole proprietor with my wife, and we all do taxes together, and so that's worked for me, but it might not work for you. And I think it just depends on the volume of your company, what you can afford, or what you think you need at the time. So, but I say talk to a tax professional and see what you think you need and see what they suggest. I'm going to add a little bit to that last tax question, and I was a little mixed up when it came to expenses and keeping track of everything, all expenditures and everything. Typically the first few years in business, you're not going to make well, you're going to make money. But you're starting off. It's a snowball that's starting to grow. And so you're not really going to owe taxes or much at all in the first couple of years unless you just turn around a company and just slam it. So a lot of people like to buy new trucks and trailers and all this different stuff, mowers before the end of the season as a write-off. You don't want to necessarily do that if it doesn't make sense for you. So look into that. If you're within your first couple of years, most likely that is probably not the best option, but I'm not in your shoes, so look at that. If you have a huge company, yes, those write-offs work in your favor, whether you want to do a full write-off on a brand new truck or you want to spread it out over time. But definitely talk to your tax professional, and they will know more than I do, but that's my 2 cents. All right, A. Wallace the GOAT says 40 in 2 weeks, kind of like 40 customers in 2 weeks, really? And what I told him was yes, it was true. But the only issue with that was, like I said, I took anybody, and when I mean anybody, the money had to be right. The money had to make sense. But with that being said, I was also all over the map. I was all over the map, and my route density was not great. But I always say this: if you're working and you're busy, you're making money. It might not be the smartest money at the moment, but the thing is, if you're just sitting at home trying to figure out marketing strategies, I say get out there and just be moving and working and figure out those marketing strategies, when you get home. But even if it's the route density isn't what you want it to be, continue to work. Unless you have a vehicle that just won't make it, or you're worried about your vehicle. But at that point, you might just need a different vehicle. So do what makes sense. But yes, I did get 40 customers in 2 weeks. Real quick, if you guys accept people that are kind of all over your area, just to kind of get some customers flowing in, do keep track of how many miles and how much you're using your truck, because I have had some close calls before. You don't realize it sometimes throughout the day how far you're traveling and how many miles you're putting on that vehicle. So keep track of your miles and keep your vehicle maintained. It's a lot easier if your route density is everybody's about 2 to 5 minutes away. You still want to maintain your vehicle, but it's a lot easier to keep an eye on it. So make sure you do that. Okay, so I got one here that says, bro, I get it that you want to keep the viewers watching, but spending over 5 minutes saying you are going to teach us how to gain new clients in a million different ways lost me. Time is money. Peace out. Again, I appreciate any feedback, because that will help me in the future. You know, if I'm talking too much, or if somebody's busy, or whatever it might be. I actually do appreciate feedback like that, because sometimes I do go back and rewatch a video and I'm like, wow, I was a little bit long-winded. It helps me to, maybe get to points a little bit quicker. But one thing I do notice about this channel specifically, and people that are trying to learn something, if it's important enough to you, it might take, even if you're listening to somebody that might mumble and kind of go a little slower than you want, it might be worth listening to if you're serious about it. And I know there's a lot of creators out there that are great, a lot of people that have great suggestions, and what you're doing is that it's an investment to listen to them. It's worth that time. Time is money. And so if you're spending a little bit of extra time listening to a strategy that might save you tons of money in marketing, tons of money in not buying door hangers, instead get some nice business cards, get out there and start networking, So I appreciate the feedback, and I'll work on that, trying to kind of cut down my mumbling and my slowness there. So, okay. All right, guys, the next question is, well, actually, after I said that to the person that made that comment about, me taking too long to kind of get to my points, he had an interesting question that I've never heard before. So this one's really kind of interesting. So he says, after that, he said, so, okay, this is my question. I love lawn care and landscaping, and I'm thinking about starting my own business. But how do you avoid all the confrontation that comes along from taking clients from crews already established in the area? He says, I've literally had crews pull up on me asking what I'm doing in their area, or is it just part of the business? Now, I have seen maybe some of this, but typically where I am from, in my neighborhoods, the crews are just really the crew lead and a helper or two. So they're not the owners of the company. And so they don't really care if you're in their neighborhood, like on their turf, things like that. I've never really heard too much things like I've said before. If you can do the job better than me, and the customer is convinced of that, then you can have them. The thing is that maybe I need to work on something. Maybe it's not the right fit. But bulldogging your way around, thinking a neighborhood is yours, it's not a good look. So I've never personally heard of it. Have you guys ever heard of anything like that, or other companies maybe getting aggressive, or having the owner come out and say, hey, what are you doing in our neighborhood? Because I personally have not heard anything like that before. Let me know. Alpha Charlie 65 MS says, can you still make good money if you rent your aerator? And that's a really good question. So what I told them is, or what I told Alpha Charlie 65 MS is that owning your own aerator will save you tons of money, and that will also have you as if you're a sole proprietor, if you're the owner operator, if you have, you know, three employees, or no matter how old or large your company is, you're gonna definitely save money, because renting one is not necessarily cheap, and when you're factoring that into the price of what it costs for other people to aerate, it just doesn't make sense. I had a larger job on one of the videos I've already made where I did go pick up an aerator. Now they covered the cost of me picking up that aerator, but that was because I was also doing some other work for them as well. And so, if somebody just called and said, "Hey, how much to aerate?" and maybe do an overseed, and if you had to say, "I'm going to pass on the rental cost to you," and they would not do that. There's too many companies out there that own their own aerator that would charge, you know, $70 to $100, and for you to get it, it's going to be, you know, almost that, or maybe a little lower. What I do know, some people that can't afford an aerator, well, can't afford an aerator at the moment. If they have a certain amount of customers, 15, 20, 30 customers, they'll go to each one of them and ask them if they want their yard aerated. And typically, the smart thing to do is to have them all schedule either on this, depending on how many there are, fit as many as you can on one day. And if you have some that will overlap into the second, rent the aerator for over the weekend so you don't get charged as much, and then just do 15 or 20 aerations in 1 or 2 days, and that will make renting it worth it. But besides that, I would work on maybe saving up for an aerator if that's something that you want to do each fall. Okay, so Grant asked me if I purchased the Wix plan or just the free version for my website. And I said, well, I guess I signed up with the premium plan because it was on sale for a certain amount of time at a discount. And then a year passed, and then they charged me $324 out of the blue. So I instantly called them and had them switch it back to a plan that was like $170 a year. Because there's a lot of things inside that premium plan that I don't use. I don't even have any use for my puppy. I don't have any use for any of that stuff that is in some of that $300 and some odd plan. So for $170 a year, I was able to do everything I did normally. So yes, Grant, like I said to you, I must have been really tired when I was making my website and picked the premium plan that was on a discount. I should have noted that a year away I would be charged a certain amount, but no, I don't. I think some other people probably might find the premium plan with their website better, but the truth is, the reason why I have a website is so that my Google My Business profile, when you Google Vibrant Lawns, it'll show that I have it, what my address is. It'll show reviews. It'll show this, and it'll show website. You know, a lot of times when I look up a company and they're missing a website, my first thought sometimes is, oh, it's not that big of a company, or oh, they couldn't afford a website, and I don't know why my mind goes there, but I think a lot of people do. So I really just wanted a website to have a website. But what was really cool about the Wix one is that you have the opportunity to actually chat with people live it notifies me when somebody logs into my website, and I can customize what it says to them. It'll pop up with, "Hey, my name is Matt. Feel free to chat. I'll give you a free estimate. All I would need is an address and this, whatever it is. You can customize it, and it'll go straight to your phone like a text message, and you can basically text them in live, and in real time. So I did also notice that with having it in Google, I got a lot of visitors and some customers from using that Wix site. So that's something to think about in the future. If you're just starting out, you got other fish to fry, but that was something that I was really needing, and it helped out at the time. So, all right, Joshua, I knew this question was going to come up. Do you have every one of your customers on a credit card payment system? And I do not. I actually like the credit card payment system. I do like the fact that I can run their credit card after I mow their yard, or as I'm sitting outside their house before I mow their yard, or right after I mow their yard. I could run their credit card for that amount and see right then that it was a successful payment. And it's, for me, it takes 2 seconds. A lot of people say, I do monthly. Like, I've been screwed over too many times that I do weekly. And I don't care about the extra time it might take me, because I've, been screwed over for a little bit too much in the past, because the lawn guys are the last guys to get paid. The lights, the gas, the water, the food, the school, the car, the tires, everything else gets paid first. Lawn guys are the last to get paid. And the thing is if somebody falls on hard times and they owe you for a month, you're going to lose that money. And so, yeah, the credit card is nice. And I only had that. I did not have that on the majority of my customers last year. And the reason for that being is that it's a lot of the customers, they felt a little bit uneasy with it. I believe a lot of those were first-year customers as well. So the more they get to know you, if you want to push the credit card thing, you're obviously going to have that Stripe processing fee, which is definitely worth it, I think, depending on if it's a landscaping job that's large. I would want a check, or I even take Venmo and things like that sometimes. Having credit cards on file is completely awesome and convenient. Like I said, I can actually run the card from my phone. So if I've had several customers that were slow payers, or cards that declined on me. Sometimes that's just because they got a different card, or they didn't have any money in the account. These times they didn't have any money in the account. So with these customers, I'll actually drive up to the lawn and I'll run the card before I start mowing, and then I'll mow it. And so there is the advantages, but like I said, with larger projects where you're going to be getting a lot more money, that processing fee is going to start taking a lot of money out of your pocket. So just watch that. All right, guys, that's all of the questions I'm going to go through today. And like Tote said, I am long-winded, and I apologize. But I hope that this causes some sort of discussion and possibly helps some people out. Maybe even give me some new ideas and things to do. But I appreciate you guys. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. There's just a lot of different aspects to this, and it's not really that hard, but sometimes there's wrong ways and right ways to do things, and sometimes there's ways that work just as fine and new ways. So I hope this causes a good discussion amongst everybody. I appreciate you guys, and again, comment if you want to. If you have any other questions, maybe we can kind of help each other out there. But I hope you guys have an awesome 2024 season. Here we are in January. It's freezing, literally freezing, -5 to -10 here in Kansas City the past week. So But besides that, I hope if you guys got some snow going on or whatever it is, I hope you guys stay safe, stay warm, and have an awesome 2024 season, guys. Thank you.